Welcome to Out of the Box with Christine, the podcast for conscious entrepreneurs. Are you willing to step into your greatness? Are you ready to shine? Well, get ready, Truth Seeker. You're in for an amazing ride. And now, here's the host of the show, Christine Blosdale.
Welcome back to Out of the Box with Christine. I am your host, Christine Blosdale, and you are in for a treat today. You are so lucky that you stumbled across this broadcast because today I have one of my favorite people on the planet, Dr. Christopher Macklin, who is an author, a spiritual messenger, healer, one of the most amazing people on the planet, and I couldn't wait to get him back on Out of the Box with Christine. Today we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of great things, and I hope that you become inspired and motivated and share that love that we're going to be spreading out today. So without further ado, I want to welcome back to Out of the Box with Christine, Dr. Christopher Macklin. Hi.
Yeah, Christine, it's wonderful to be back. Bless your heart. And we absolutely adore you as well. You're amazing. So thank you for having me on. Well, and thank you for being you,
Oh, it's my honor. I said to you one time, I think it was a moment when I saw you. We hadn't met, but I think I saw a video of you. You were speaking, and I said, "Oh my goodness, he's like my soul family." Like I remembered you. You're so familiar to me. But I was.
So you, yeah.
Yeah, that's the dad I want to have. That's the uncle that I wish I had.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think soul family. You instantly feel like a connection with people, and it doesn't happen very often, but when you do, it's very deep, and it is soul family, and it's important to connect with those people, especially this time. It's really important.
Yes, let's talk about this time. I feel like if they wrote this in a Hollywood movie script, all the executives at the studio would go, "Are you kidding? This is too unbelievable." We've been through a bit of a rough time the last couple years, and yet, like sort of like Neo in the Matrix, we've kind of bent over backwards and seen what has been thrown at us, and have come out. Hopefully, most of us come out on the other side better for it. But why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've been up to, especially over the last couple of years, because it's been a while since I've had you on the show.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a lot of things, and the mandates and everything came in, and I've seen doing the healings, I've seen people get a lot more angsty than they used to, and actually it seems to be getting worse. Lately, even last week, I was like, wow, it's a lot more work to do this, and it's exhausting sometimes. But we're here to support people, of course, and that's the whole point about it. But it's been a crazy ride. But people say, well, how do I, if you're in this matrix believing everything, that's okay. But I think sometimes it's really important to step out, get away from that world, because the world, if anyone has noticed, I think it's barking mad nuts, whatever you want to call it. It's all over the place. It's discombobulated, and personally, I think it's good to step out, get in a circle where all your friends love you. You don't have to, be anybody else but you. And, you can express yourself, and also I think you've got to look at the things that you really enjoy, whether it's cooking. I mean, I love cooking. So sometimes I just get in my space and start cooking and have some fun and get a glass of wine. If you like sculpturing, if you like growing things, get out in the yard or the garden and, start growing, do some things that really inspire you. Because it is hard now for people to find joy. I've seen people's sparks been snuffed out because they're so exhausted from other things going on. And you have to work really hard, I think, to get that inner strength. I mean, what gives me a spark is waking up in the morning. Now I'm going to heal, a lot of people, like 30, 40 people a day. And I love it, And, if you go into work, I've got to get up, got to go to work. Well, you're in the wrong job, But people always say, well, yeah, but my gift is art, how am I going to make money out of that? You know what? It's not your deal, That's up to God, Whoever you view God as, maybe you don't view God as anything, but most people view God as prime creator, source of all ideas. It could be Jesus, Buddha. It doesn't matter who you believe is God. There's only one source, and I call God, Goddess, prime creator of all it is a balanced masculine, feminine definition. But I think, if you realize God's got your back and you really step in faith, you can really make it happen. You know, I'm proof of that. Honestly, Christine, I had a reading 20 years ago. This lady said, well, let's see. And she wrote all these things down. You know, and I was like, what's all this about? Anyway, she said, well, you're going to get remarried. This is 20 years ago. You're going to work for God. Yeah. And you're going to live off donations. And I kept thinking to myself, I didn't tell her that. Oh, okay, thank you very much. You know, I walked out. I think this woman might be nuts. You know. Oh, look, it arrived. I work for God. I live off donations, and you know, I'm doing healing for people, and truly, I absolutely love it. You know, 20 years ago, I didn't love life at all. I worked in a corporate system, couldn't stand it. Thought there's got to be something more than this, and here it is, and I love it. You know, so it gives me the inspiration.
And you touched upon something that's really important. When you're passionate about what you do, there's I believe that there's an energy when you're drudging and you're hating, and it's Monday morning and your heart, blood pressure is going up because you have to, I got to go to work. That is an energy. And then also just saying, you know what, I love doing what I do. I'm passionate about it. And then that energy carries on, and all those beautiful opportunities and doorways do open up. It may be a little struggle in the beginning, but I think that's also not to test you. I don't think we're being tested, but I think it's to sort of reinforce, stick with your passion, and eventually something beautiful will come out of it. Sometimes it's to say, oh, you know what? I tried that, and that was all right, but maybe I should try something else, or you'll learn. Something that's really important, and I try and teach this to as many people as I can, is that you're not going to necessarily reach success unless you're a failure at some point, right? So it's like a baby who tries to walk. They're gonna crawl, they're gonna stand up, and they're gonna plop down on their bum quite a few times. They might knock into a couple different things, but eventually they're going to learn through the art of failing. Right? They're going to learn how to walk. Can you talk about that a little bit? Because people are so hard on themselves, Christopher.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. You've got to stop shaming yourself. I mean, I've had bankrupt companies in England. I was struck off as a director because I went bankrupt and I was insolvent, and I was young, and I remember this account saying, your company's insolvent. I said, what the heck does that mean? It means the abilities to pay debt as they fall due, or blah, 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 all these daft definitions. And as he said, it's illegal to run the company. So we had to fold it up. And I didn't even know about these things. And did I show myself now? And one day, I remember I got national press in the UK because they published all the struck off directors, oh, my father's going over. My goodness, how embarrassing, because he's an accountant. I said, well, why are you embarrassed? It's not putting you in it, it's putting me in it, and I actually couldn't care less because I tried and, okay, I failed. And I failed a couple of times. But I do think one thing I've learned, honestly, Christine, is if you can find that absolute burning passion, I'm not talking about, oh, well, let's do some like herbs and make some herbs, see if we sell them or something, if that's not your burning passion, don't do it. If you can find your burning passion, I believe everyone's got a God path. Everyone's got a gift that you don't have to even try. You just kind of do it, and you're so excited about it. But the mistake I think people make with a spiritual company, or even a company they've got a passion about, is they do everything. Like, well, I'm starting a business, can't afford an accountant, can't afford an IT guy, can't. Well, you just manifest you can't, but that's okay. But what I've learned is that if you step out in that faith and say, I don't want to do, I can't stand about you, but I can't stand accounts. I don't count beans. I'm not interested. And, even Same. To the point where the accountant did my tax return, and she said, well, you have to log in the portal. And I said, why the heck would I do that? She started laughing. You're not really interested, are you? I said, no. I said, I wouldn't know whether it's good, bad, or indifferent because I'm not an accountant, Are you happy with it? She goes, yeah. I said, well, let's just post it because I've got a clue whether it's right or wrong. I'm not an accountant. I'm not interested, And, she was just laughing her head off. She goes, oh, my God, you're so successful. You do really well. but you're just not interested in money or anything else. No, definitely not. You do that. We pay her about, $17,000 a year to do the accounts for the ministry. And it's the best money you'll ever spend because I don't have to worry about that. We pay the IT guy. He comes in a lot, maintains the IT equipment, and I don't do that. Can I do it? Yeah. Do I like it? Absolutely not. So, my thing is focus on the things you're really good at and you're blossoming enough to feed other people so they can do things for, like the ministry is not for profit. They could do things for it and they get fed as well and you can feed other people's families. Don't try and keep it all to yourself because, I think that's important.
I say stay in your lane. Because, I'm not going to open up the hood of my car and work on my engine because I don't know what I'm doing in there. I'm going to go to a mechanic. There's a saying too, is that like in life, you want to have a good mechanic, a good doctor, a good accountant. And I think the other one was a good lawyer if you need it. But there's just a few key things that I don't know how to do or I don't want to do. And so when I'm able to have someone else do that, and I know my specialty, that's the thing. I'm really good at what I do. I don't have a problem saying that. There's no ego in it. There's no ego.
No, it's just a fact. I know I'm good at what I do because you wouldn't be this busy. I mean, we get so busy. We're booked up like 2.5 months, and we get thousands of people working with a week, and they wouldn't come back if it didn't work. So it does work, the healings, and I love doing it. So. You're absolutely right.
And let's talk a little bit about that. I know that you have a book called, was it Raising Your Immune System, Calming the Mind? And this is it's an emotional, spiritual, and physical guide to staying healthy during these challenging times. And goodness gracious, the timing of this is really important because we are so stressed. There is an epidemic of stress and anxiety and depression. That's happening in this world with young people, old. I mean, everybody's got this. They seem to have this issue. So tell us a little bit about that, about calming the mind, because I know it's so important what we think on our beliefs. But tell us a little bit more about this book.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because if you look at the what do you call it? Like the emotional aspect affects the neurochemical balance, and so. In this third dimensional world, I call it third dimensional world because I don't like labels, particularly ADD, ADHD, OCD, PTSD. All these things are caused by imbalance of neurochemical balance. And it depends what glands are affected by the emotion, the brain, and also serotonin in the adrenals. If it goes off balance, you get this. I mean, I've got OCD, for example, probably no one knows on the show, but I've got 84 pairs of pantaloons. Now, why the heck did I buy them? I don't know. But, I always tell my wife, at least... if we have a epidemic or something happens, at least we've got pantaloons. I might not have food, but pantaloons is it.
I love that you call them pantaloons.
Pantaloons, yeah. I always say in the healing, we're going to blow your pantaloons off. It's really funny. But everyone's got some sort of, attention deficit. There's various scopes of it, but. Again, don't shame yourself, because I spend all day in the ethers. So, I'm talking to beings, which people think, oh, he's schizophrenic. I'm not. I talk to beings and I talk to the right ones. We do healing on people. And when you're talking to them all day, when you try and come back here, you feel very spacey. So you're not really you're not really grounded in this world. And it takes me about half an hour to an hour. That's why I never drive very far. For about an hour because I'm not really focusing on what's on the road. So there's that going on. But I think also centering the mind is really important to, like I say, find joy in your life. Look at the gratitude. I think the key to life is gratitude. It's so easy to look beyond it and, well, but everything's expensive, whatever. But look what you do have. Honestly, Christine, I lived out of a car for about 4 years. Semi-homeless, not completely homeless on the street, but semi-homeless, and it was tough, And that's why I got 84 pairs of pantaloons. I don't know, but I lived out of a Volkswagen Polo. I'm 6'5", and it was kind of a cramp, and I had everything hung up. And it taught me a lot just to have food, because at that time I went without food for 21 days, 7 days, never knew where I'd stay. I used to stay in like parking lots and, on highways, in gas stations, and they used to move you on after a while. So, I know what it's like. And just to have food on the table, what a blessing. To have a roof over your head. Wow, what a blessing. If you've got a car, wow, it's really important to look at it. If you've got a partner, beautiful partner you love and adore, and they support you, that's but a lot of people don't have this stuff in the world. And I think so important, I know people try and teach you, well, get a gratitude stone. And people say, well, God, look, I'll give you 5 minutes. I'm grateful for my wife, my car, my food, but we're done, It doesn't work like that, in my opinion. I think gratitude, you feel it every single second, a minute of every day once you get into that space, but it takes a while. But I think gratitude is there, to really surrender. Once you've surrendered, so many things will come in. Your life turns around. I'm living proof of that.
I think gratitude is the miracle, the secret. We talked about The Secret. There's the movie The Secret and all that great stuff about, seeing yourself and, when you're desiring something. But I think gratitude is so powerful because especially when you're grateful for something that hasn't happened yet. It's a little play on the universe, but when you're absolutely grateful for all of the abundance, even if you're in a place of lack, but if you're grateful for all of the abundance that you have and all of the things that you are able to experience before, like in the now, then it creates, again, that energy. And I think that the universe, God, love, whatever, the prime being, prime source, I think that it's just it's also feeding what energy you're giving it. So if you're always wanting, if you're always in a position of wanting, of lack, I need this, I need that, then I think that's what you're going to also experience more of, is wanting. Because that's the energy that's being put out. But when you're already grateful, I am so grateful for everything that I have. And I'm so grateful for things that are coming to me how exciting. I don't even know what they are yet. Then that energy,
it's amazing.
Then the universe is like, oh, let's give her more of that feeling,
Yeah. You say, well, I want that, but I don't have the money. And God's kind of just writing a check. Oh, okay. They tear it up. Sorry. If you don't want it, I don't know what to tell you, And it's amazing how, I've taught people to really shift their mind patterns. Every time you get a negative thought, like, I don't, whoa, back up. No, it's not, I don't. I have it. Thank you, God, for the blessing of that, and turn it around. Everything's got to stay positive. It's even, it's even the word spellings, they're all there's a lot of manipulation in life. And I think, even, good morning is like mourning something, why would you tell people, oh, have a good morning for, in the morning? It doesn't make sense. It's all about words. If you say, I hope you have a really blessed day, that's a very different energy, and I think very important to police, your words and always get positivity because, people don't realize that your brain's full of nerve endings, and nerve endings are like an aerial, like dipoles. They send messages out. And if you keep sending the negative message out, all the negative stuff is going to come back. If you start sending actually abundance messages and wow, I'm so blessed and everything else, you're also going to change your vibration. One of the things I want to look at really is, if people get angsty and the vibration's low, of course, you get attachments. I think people have talked about attachments. What are they? Well, Jesus talked about them. He called them demonic entities and possessions. There's different types. There's Anunnaki. They sit in the abdomen, hang on the shoulders, so shoulders are tight, tap in the lower back, send you negative thoughts, Anunnaki. There's Draconians, very dark beings. They can make you feel suicidal. There's Luciferians, and they're the beings that if they attach to you, they're very snarly. So you can get a very snarly voice sometimes. If you get angry, they'll start hissing and, get snarly voice and contorting your body up. I think those are the ones that Jesus called demonic entities and you're possessed because you get all this random movement going on. So there's different types of beings that can affect you, and they can only affect you if your vibration's low, which means that you're in a depressed state. If you get your vibration right up there, they can't even attach to you. And so, I always encourage people, and we do healings 3 times a week. We do it, you don't have to pay. I mean, it's by donation. If you want to donate, great. If you don't, that's fine. We do it 3 times a week for everybody. And we get probably about 800, 1,000 people on each one. That's 3,000 people a week. And, Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. And, it just helps people release emotion. We've got a fast track method of releasing emotion. And of course, emotion creates all sorts of illnesses, cancers. It creates, if you've got emotion, it'll bleed into parathyroid. You start leaching calcium out your bones. You got osteopenia, osteoporosis. You can get arterial blockages from that. You can get liver issues. You can get blood sugar issues. There's so many different things you can get, and it's all steered by emotion. And that's why I think people get really sick. And as soon as you start releasing it, the primary cause of cancer, from my perspective, is emotion. Secondary cause is pathogens mutating the cells, turning the tumor. So to me, people say, oh, cancer is death. And, to me, it's just like looking at you saying, hey, I'm here. Your body's off balance. You better pay attention to me, or I will pay attention to you. But it's not death if you don't allow it, And I think we've been kind of programmed in the mind that, oh, you got cancer, you're going to die. Well, you're not,
Well, we've been programmed. We've been programmed all right.
Completely. Completely.
We have been programmed, and that's why also, like, talking about programming, I don't watch television. I don't watch television because also just there's some things that come up. I'll watch a documentary or something that I choose through a subscriber base, like a Netflix or something like that, where I'm like, I know what I'm going to be watching, but I don't watch in particular these dark. I can't physically. I can't watch something violent. Like I
can't either. I start to feel sick. Actually,
absolutely.
I feel like, and I feel nauseous. No.
I see these horror, slash 'em films, really very disturbing, and I see like how many young people love them, and I'm thinking it's a portal. It's a portal because you're seeing something and it's affecting you and even your subconscious. And this is really important. And I'd love to get into this because we think, well, oh, I know it's Hollywood and I know it's make believe and I'm just watching this in a movie theater or on my TV screen. But the subconscious mind picks up little things. And I know you are very well versed in the subconscious mind. And so can we talk about paying attention to what we're paying attention to? Are we listening to things that have that dark energy that open us up to those entities as well? This is very, very important. And I think it's a public service announcement that we're going to do. But can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. Let's do the public. Yeah, it's actually right, actually. And I think the problem is with these channels is that they're, a lot of things, people don't realize it. It starts with the, what you'll call Illuminati deep state type things, which is all connected to the reptilian element. Now, the thing is about reptilian elements, they're very addictive. So if you start watching something and it's violent or whatever, you start to get addicted to it very easily. Because of the reptilian energy starts to, come in and you can't leave it alone. It's the same with, gaming. If you think about it, kids do gaming, and they're very like, crazy, the things that these games do now. And if it imprints on people's minds, the subconscious, they think they can go out and do the same thing with a real gun or weapon. And, it's really programmed them. And the same with pornography, and people say, oh, God, pornography. It's a system, I think, to desensitize you from love and a very sacred act by watching this stuff. And, people can become really detached. That's why I think a lot of relationships don't work properly, because I was shocked in this country. So many people, guys, whatever, look at pornography all the time. And, wow, it's important to try and stop it, but it is an addiction. It's all an addiction, and it's been programmed, and the reptilian energy is so addictive, very difficult to get away from it.
And what about the fear? Because I know that there's a lot of people that are fearful of the economy, fearful of COVID, fearful of aging, fearful of their neighbor, right? And the energy of fear has a definite signatory, right? A definite signal as well. Can you talk about that? Because I know that through that fear too is where we can also come in contact with some of those entities that will attach to us, and they're very tricky and hard to get off of us, right?
Yeah, in England, they call them cheeky blighters. But it's very true. I mean, fear is the number one mind control system. And if you look at what's happening, Project Mockingbird, for example, let's get a load of stuff out in the media, and let's program people to live in fear. You never see things on the TV like, wow, look at Betty. She's been in the soup kitchen for 43 years and she got an award and we want to love her. And, all you see is like negative stuff all the time. And why would you want to watch that? Because truly, to me, it's like you say, take a step back, switch that media that gives you negative energy off. And again, be discerning. There's some good media and there's some not so good media. You need uplifting stuff, in my opinion, especially now. And like COVID, like vaccines, like you say, the government, gas, food, everything's becoming in short supply. They're really programming you by the fear. Now, if you take a step back from it and say, you take some precautions, of course, may get some food in, whatever you want to do. But, if you take a step back from all that fear, you'll have a great life. And again, it comes to manifestation. If you have fear, oh my God, we're going to have no food. Well, God's just about to give you food. Oh, okay. Let's rip the check up. We're done. If you manifest like, I'll be okay, God's got my back. That's the key to life, I think. Knowing that God's got your back. And I think, if you go through life with God's got your back and you have real absolute faith, but it takes a lot for people with absolute faith. And I don't know, can I give you an example?
You sure can.
Right. So I know people are talking about gun laws and all this and whatever, and now my opinion is if you don't have absolute faith, you need something to defend yourself, without a doubt, because, especially in the US. But what happens this, if you have absolute faith, what happens is that if someone's pointing a gun at you and starts to squeeze the trigger, and I've seen this, you can either manifest your death, like, oh my God, I'm going to die, and suddenly you die because you've just given into fear. Or if you just turn around and say, you know what, you can't touch me. That gun is not going to go off. It's not going to touch me. Even if they shoot at you, the thing will miss, or the gun will jam, or they'll pass out from a heart attack or something. The universe, if you have faith to the absolute end, to absolute death, and I have it because I've seen it happen, then what will happen is the universe will create a new reality. But if you don't actually have that absolute faith, it won't. And so, then, of course, you need a weapon to defend yourself. That's just my belief, I mean, you guys listening may think different, but I've seen it. I've got the T-shirt on it.
Well, and when we were talking too about, especially with guns, you have easy access. Then you have them being primed, right? Buy all of the violence, the video games, which you can shoot a bunch of people, in your living room or in your basement, wherever. So there's the ease of that, and then the stoking of fear, right? And social media, because there's a lot of things too that are on social media that are quite disturbing. So you have this inundation of media brainwashing, into our heads. And also the disconnect. This is the key, because I mean, I hate to say, I don't want to sound like my grandmother. Like when I was a kid, we used to walk 50 miles in our bare feet. No, but when I was a kid,
yeah.
Right? But when I was a kid, we didn't have these devices. I mean, I think the most technological thing we had when I was a kid was that game Pong, and you put it onto your TV, and it was literally just a little thing going back and forth on the screen, and you had a little racket or whatever. But it was like, oh, technology. But we actually had to communicate with each other. We had to, like, friends weren't just texting each other. We were meeting each other. We were playing outside. Even if going to school with a bully, right? You had to go to school, and so you had to deal with the bully. But then at the end of the day, when you went home, you didn't see the bully. The bully didn't post a social media thing taunting you again. We are this technological prison in many respects that stoke the fear, that stoke the psychosis, right? And then and then we make it super easy to get a gun, or super easy here. You can build a gun. You can all these different things. And so that stoking of it and then the availability of it is, and we have a mental health crisis. Let's just face it. We do globally. When you see the things, when people are behaving in such a way, you have to know that there is something that is going on, and that connection to each other. I was just talking to someone yesterday about a near-death experience, because she said the topic came up as, are you afraid of death? And I'm a Scorpio. I have 5 planets in Scorpio. Honey, I am not afraid of death. Death is like, cool. It's a vacation. And I had a near-death experience where at the moment of, like, I was like seriously going to be gone, I was given a choice. And at that choice moment, and time just stopped. And I was given that choice. And at the moment, when I was given the choice, I felt that I was one with everything in the world, in the universe, everything, the rocks, the animals, the people, the ocean, because I was in the water when it happened. And I was like, this is the most beautiful feeling, to be one with everything. You're not lost. Your identity isn't lost. Your soul just connects with everything. And every little cell and fiber of my being was just alive. And I said, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. And I said, okay, yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm 21. Why not? And what happened is that there was like a little carousel, right, of moments in my life, and not the moments when you win an award, not the moments when you're getting, not even moments when you have those special occasions. They're little moments. They're moments in time that you were like, that was important. Oh my goodness. I guess it was little moments in time. And then I got to see my mom after saying that I was ready to die. I saw how my mom was going to get the news. My mom was going to get the news by what on television, on the news, like, young American girl dies in Costa Rica, and I said, oh, hold it. No. That cannot happen, because my mom lost my sister when she was very young. She hit her head in the bathtub and died of complications. And the way that I was going to die was going to be similar, but in the ocean. And I said, she cannot handle that. And I don't want that to happen. And so I was given that choice. And what happens is when you're given that choice and you say, yes, I want to live, then that's where the miracle happens. And that's where I'm thinking, where you're talking about where the gun won't go off, or the bullet goes over here, or the car, suddenly the car accident happens, and it's like you have a protective bubble around you. That's what happened to me. And so that's why I'm not afraid of death, but it did change me. That near-death experience did change me, because I said, well, my goodness, no, it's not that I look forward to dying, because I love my life, but at the same time, it opened my eyes up to that whole process, because we don't talk about death very much. In a culture that's obsessed with true crime podcasts and murder, we don't talk about the beautiful aspect of it as well. Have you had a near-death experience?
Oh yeah, I put myself in a near-death experience, and it was interesting. I'm not going to tell you how, because I probably don't think it's appropriate, but I put myself in a near-death experience after I'd gone bankrupt. I wasn't depressed, but I wanted to show to God that I had the faith in Prime Creator that they could heal me, and also vice versa. It gives God the faith in me that, you know what I mean? It's a two-way street. It wasn't something I did lightly. And it was amazing that night, because I didn't get a choice. The Melchizedek beings turned up, you're not going anywhere, and so, well, you better heal me then. And they did. And wow, what a night. And I would have died, I checked afterwards, with all the things I did, should have died. And I'm here today. But it wasn't because, I was depressed or anything else. It was because, like I say, I had to almost show God I had the faith in God to heal me, and also for God to know that, it was a two-way street. I had the faith in God, God had the faith in me, and it was a two-way street. We had to do, and after that, everything changed. And like you say, the unconditional love feeling, that blissy or oneness feeling is just incredible. And that's something you never forget. I never forget it. And I always talk about God every day. Look, God's got your back, because it does change your life. I don't fear death at all, I mean, they've tried 289 times to take me out with things. One was a bioweapon, which I got from one of the expos, and it's collected here. So what, we've got rid of it all. I haven't got rid of the tumor yet. It's just sitting there, but there's nothing in it. But I think, it really does make you an absolute warrior. And after that, you step out in faith. And people say, oh my God, if you say things like some 3-letter H's, you might say something. Nah, not worried about that, because if you have absolute faith, they won't touch you. And I think that's the key. I really do.
And you're actually really quite brave too, because I know that many of the things that you talk about in public are things that people would go, oh, you don't want to talk too much about that because it's dangerous. But when we're talking about those darker circles that are there and that wield a lot of control and power around the world, it's important to speak out on those things, because also, we'll keep the show a little light, but we'll also talk about what the reality is as well, is that there are things that happen in this world that really shouldn't happen, and it's because it's been under the cloak of darkness. And I believe that the veil is being lifted. It's being lifted, sometimes in like little glitches, right? But it's being lifted, and we are slowly, the population is slowly coming to the realization. Remember, not too long ago, the Roman Catholic Church was that was, religion. Just think about all the millions of people that the Roman Catholic Church throughout the centuries, the devastation, the horror, that they inflicted.
It's unbelievable.
And they had reigned for so long. But when people start speaking the truth, when victims of priests start speaking out, that's when you shine a light. And when you shine a light on the darkness, little cockroaches scatter.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, I think also, I mean, the general public, you can't really, I don't think, release too much in one go. You've got to drip feed it, because it's a lot. I mean, I've worked with Illuminati fallout children who've been so abused by these satanic people. I know what they get up to, all the child stuff, all the things, it's really horrific. If you actually heard this, it would probably bring you to tears. But luckily I have the blessing that I can help these people. And like you say, it's being dripped out. The tide is turning, and you have to look at the positivity. Like, this has got to stop, because it's not okay. And I always say, look, I'm an American citizen now, and not on my watch, a kid's going to get abused anymore. We have to stop it. Not on my watch are all these satanic things going to happen. And, we do a ceremony, which is actually counteracts a God ceremony every 120 days to counteract the satanic stuff. Does it work? I think it does. I think it's probably bigger than we ever think. We try and get as many people as possible. It's free to join. The next one's on the 10th of September. And, we just have people, and we just chant through them, instead of judging, the satanic stuff, we just call them out, like, any satanic things. And, we bring them before God for justice and release them to God with unconditional love and forgiveness. In that way, it's a lot more powerful than any anger and things against them, because anger just feeds into their negativity, Well, in this way, turn it over to God, let God deal with it. And wow, I think it's really worked. We've been doing this for 2 years now, and it's really helping, I think.
And I think what's happening now is it is coming to light, and it has to be in drips and drabs, because you're right. I think the shock of it all would be too much. I mean, I know it, like in Germany, people probably just thought, wow, we've got a lot of trains. They couldn't even imagine, not the average German resident citizen, what was going on with with the Holocaust and all of that. But they were probably going, my goodness, we have a lot of trains, and we are such a productive country. So they couldn't wrap their head around it. And I think right now people are starting to get it a little bit, how also Hollywood, how they use Hollywood as their megaphone and getting out these symbols. And I mean, now it's getting really blatant, Christopher. I mean,
I know
I've
you.
been,
My goodness.
I'm like, well, wait, and I really like that artist. I like the music. I think the music's good. And I'm like, are you serious? You're actually coming out in the whole devil costume and doing, these ritualistic things in your music videos? Are you? They're becoming more blatant, and and
with dark circles around their eyes as well, and it's just like,
and it's like
horrible.
I feel like I want to go, what is going on? And it's that promise, of course, for the artists and the actors, all this money, whatever you want, whenever you want it. And it needs to stop. It needs to, they sold their souls. Exactly. They signed a contract that was, a little deep and dark, but this has to stop. And I love what you said, not on my watch. Right?
Yeah, not on my watch, because it's not happened. It's really, I hope you don't mind me sharing some about my dad. It's really funny because I speak to him and he's into all this stuff. He doesn't believe anything I say. He thinks I'm he said, I think about a year ago, he said, "You're absolutely barking mad." I thought, wow, Dad, that's such a compliment. I'm so excited.
Was this your dad?
Yeah. Oh, the guy's nuts, Yeah. He's 87, never changed. And he's narcissistic, passive aggressive, whatever. But what was interesting is he said, "Well, we've got a bigger problem as well." So what's that? He goes, "Global warming." I said, "What's causing that?" He goes, "The cows passing wind." Oh. Okay. Where did you hear that? The BBC. Okay. So I said, "Your cows passing wind is creating global warming." Yeah. I said, "Well, we're fixed in America." He goes, "How did you do that?" I said, "Well, you give them tum-tums, it settles the stomach, there's no wind, and going over. It's just, and he said, "Oh, wow," he believed that as well. So it's called Project Mockingbird. And, people should look out for this. Project Mockingbird,
look it up.
It is, yeah, look it up. It's something that, media do, they tell you and you project it back out on people. Try and have a look at what they're doing, look it up. Like you say, you'll understand, oh, maybe I've been part of that,
Well, and there's always a solution. This is the thing, right? Whenever there's a big problem, right, there's always a solution that they come up with. And I'm always worried. I'm not worried about the problem so much. I'm more worried about the solution. That's the little conspiracy theorist in me. Like, wait a second. Okay, and now Bill Gates wants to go and spray the skies as if that hasn't happened before, but they want to spray the skies because of global warming and dim the sun. And no, what could go wrong with that, right? Spraying whatever out of planes all over the world. What could go wrong?
Oh, it has gone wrong. It's going to destroy the plants, everything.
It's crazy.
What's interesting is that, but it's not because of global warming. What's happening is there's a reptilian element under the planet that people don't realize. So again, go look it up. And they want that reptilian element up on the planet's surface, but they can't breathe the level of oxygen. And that's one of the things, all these people are connected to the reptilian, races. And so just important, again, look it up. If you don't believe me, go look it up. It's all over the place. It's very interesting.
I love you, Christopher Macklin.
I love you, Christine. Bless you.
You are my family. You are my family. I want to talk about, because we got a little bit of time left, and then I was wondering if you might be able to give us a short guided little something. I don't want to say meditation, but it could be something like that. I just love what you do. And we can, now if people are listening to this at home, in the comfort of their home, that's great, because you can close your eyes and you can be with Christopher. But if you're driving, don't close your eyes and just listen to this at another time, right?
Yeah, because you might get dizzy.
Yes. But what else? Is there something that you want to let people? You have the podium, so to speak, and you can speak to people about anything that you want. I'll give you the stage as well. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I just want to encourage people. At this time, we're seeing a lot of people who are getting, and I see it around. You must see it around. Pretty aggressive. People have a very short fuse, very little patience, and I think I would encourage everyone: don't judge people, but also set healthy boundaries. Because if you've got a narcissist around you or whatever, you probably need to start setting boundaries, because you're not a powerless victim. Don't shame yourself. Stop. It's time to stop treading eggshells and actually be the sovereign being you are. And that's what it was. The time of the guru is gone. We're not interested in gurus. It's all a pile of nonsense. You are your own guru. And so it's important to start standing up for yourself and start raising your vibration. Say, I'm a good human being. And of course, service to others is very key. Try and do things for other people. It's very important. But also love yourself and give yourself honor and respect, that you don't have to be berated by someone who doesn't understand you. Cut them off. Because unconditional love to me is love with boundaries. It's difficult to unconditionally love somebody when they're in your space and they're criticizing you, berating you. And that's what I've done with my father. I've set healthy boundaries. And if he starts all this nonsense, love you, Dad, bye. Someone's come to the door, bye. I'm gone. And he knows now that, I better not berate. So I'd really encourage people, don't criticize, don't shame. Everyone's in a different place. Everyone's got a different perspective of what's happening. And is there's a right or wrong? I said to my father one day, he got a different perspective than me. Yours is from the BBC, mine's from somewhere else. I said to him, who's right or wrong? He said, I said, do you want me to answer it? You're right from your perspective and I'm right from my perspective. And so we're both right. Let's not criticize each other. Let's just take a step back and just love each other for who we are. And I think that's really important. So...
And we tend to, as human beings too, we tend to do this black or white, yes or no type thing. And because we compare, right? Compare and contrast. We compare ourselves. That's also with social media. We compare ourselves to other people and get down on ourselves. I think we are our biggest critics as humans.
I think we do, Yeah.
We tend to knock ourselves, down quite a bit. But also, what helps me is when I am thrown off, right? Because you can't always be like super positive and like, yay, life. Every now and then.
I'm the same.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Every now and then
you
it's
go
just
south. Oh, my God.
But what's funny is that it's so rare that when it has happened, I actually, like I told my wife, I go, I don't know why, but I'm really in a bad space today. I'm grumpy. Everything's bothering me. The cats, the kids, the sheets, everything's bothering me. I was irritable and it was so different than what I usually am that I actually had to say something to her. But what helps me is also tapping into that little girl that different ages, like 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, that little girl who actually had all the answers, had the magic, and no matter what happened to her, not that her life wasn't easy, trust me, but that little girl was so resourceful and so smart, like just knew that everything was going to be okay. So I tap back into that to help me. Some people tap into their grandmother, the nurturing grandmother, and connect with them. Do you have something like that? Do you have someone or something that when you get kind of knocked off the path that you can go to?
I tap into the accused dead beings, I think. And, I've had a lot of, probably like you, I think I may be wrong, but, abandonment issues, like big time, in my life, from relationships, from father, from mother and everything else. And it's very difficult. Sometimes you just get this like, does someone love me really? And, you start getting abandonment, like, and I go south a bit. And I always tell my wife, I'm going south. I just need a bit of time, I think it's coming from abandonment. And I look where it's coming from and then start fixing it. And I work with because that beings. One thing I learned, to be honest, Christine, is when I went bankrupt, no one was interested, not one person. So I couldn't talk to anyone. So the only person I could talk to, or the people, is the off-planet beings that I work with. And they were there for me. The thing is about off-planet beings, if you're a starseed, not everyone is on this planet, but starseeds have been, kind of volunteered to come down here. Don't know what they were thinking, but anyway, they volunteered to come down. It's a hard one. But you can tap into your soul family and you can get a lot of comfort. And they give me a lot of wisdom. I often talk to them, where's this come from? Oh, it's come from that father or something. And then I can, rebalance it, because I am loved now, but I don't think I've been loved for most of my life. And so I didn't even know what love was, and I don't know about you. When you find your person, you find what's true love is, and you start to think, is this fake or is it kind of real? It doesn't feel real. You know what I mean? It took me a long time with Mandy to, this is real, all right, So,
she loves
wow.
you. She loves you.
I love her as well. It's amazing. Bless her heart. She's just amazing.
It took me so many years to find my human. Well, she actually found me, I guess, on Instagram. I came up in her feed or something like that. And your human loves all of you. And this was what I remember too, is that she loved the parts of me, even the physical parts that bother me, that I'm not crazy about. She absolutely loves and adores them. And when you find that person that looks at you, that look, and no matter what, I mean,
doesn't matter. I love you. They see, they see your soul. They see you, completely.
No matter how much weight you've gained during COVID, no matter what, your best and worst, they absolutely love you. They look at you with that look. And I've seen that look that you both have for each other. Christopher.
I love it. She's amazing.
So
bless
beautiful.
her.
Well, we've got just a couple minutes left. Would you be so wonderful just to help guide, maybe even just to give us a little bit of something that we can focus in on to
let me put you in a portal. Take about 2 minutes. I'll put you in a portal.
Put us in a positive space.
Remove any entities and comb the meridians and give you energy. Okay. Then you'll feel pretty floaty. It should take about 2 minutes. So I want everyone to sit back and relax. Of course, you're not driving. Don't close your eyes.
No, don't.
Please don't. So I want you to ground yourself. Don't forget, I define God as God, Goddess, prime creator of all that is. So I want you to say, I am of God. I ground myself to the earth. And I accept this healing for my highest good. Right, and I put in a portal, so ultimate dimension 8 portals around each person on this, listen to this call, close it off with them, dear God, I command 27 niche territory Merkabah fields around that person. With that sacred bond in the center of the Merkabah fields, bond in the portals to the Merkabah fields, program the blueprint of their DNA and the keys of Enoch, so as not to allow anything except for the highest good to enter. So the entities we were talking about, if you've got an entity attachment, they're going to move now, you're going to feel them drawing out your body. So they're going to escort them out. We're going to send them all back to God with unconditional love and forgiveness. So if you had an entity attachment, you might feel the abdomen feel lighter, the shoulders neck start letting go. And so I'm going to comb your meridians and I'm going to give you energy. So you're going to feel angelic hands go down your body or light or bin. So go from your crown down your face, the back head on the left, down your neck, cross left shoulder down your arm. The right, we're doing the same. On the left, we're going down your neck, down your chest, down your abdomen, out to the hip. On the right, we're doing the same. On the left, we're going from your hip down your thigh, over your knee, down your calf, out to the foot. And on the right, we're doing the same. Right, so I'm going to give you some energy. So you guys, without spirochetes and Nantech, replicate your body. Spirochetes and Nantech are Borrelia Lyme, HIV/AIDS, Agent Orange, Morgellons, or if you've had COVID, the jab, which is okay, you're going to get different energy. So you guys, without that, you're going to feel light floaty, warm, tingly, really relaxed. And you guys with spirochetes and Nantech in your body, you're going to get tacking and your space-time continuum. So it's very electrostatic, starts off subtle. It's going to get stronger, very staticky, buzzy energy. Then it's going to plateau. Right, so, if you're listening to this, do you relaxing at home? I just relaxing that energy. Of course, it's a tiny portion of the healing we do, but it just gives you an example. So I'm just going to thank the because that beings and send you unconditional love, and so be it.
And so be it. Thank you, Christopher. I feel so good now.
Bless your heart. That's just a tiny bit of the healing. But, if anyone wants to come on, please come on and, go to Global Alignment Project. We've got a lot of stuff there.
Yes, let's tell people how to get in touch with you and how to see the work that you do. It's the website, and I'll make sure that it's associated with this show, the link. It's globalenlightenmentproject.com. Is that correct? Is that the best place to send folks? And,
absolutely.
And Christopher offers free global healing meditations 3 times a week. So if you want to be notified of that, just sign up at the website. It's globalenlightenmentproject.com. And he also, of course, offers one-on-one healing sessions for both physical and spiritual issues as well. So check out the website, globalenlightenmentproject.com. Links will be in the show notes. Christopher, you are always such a gift to me.
Oh,
and
Christine, so you're amazing. Both
really
of you. We love you both. Bless you.
I really love having you on the show and speaking with you. You're welcome back anytime. You just let me know. Okay.
Let's keep doing it.
Okay. All right, love.
I love you. Bless you.
Love you too. Thank you so much, Dr. Christopher Macklin, for coming on Out of the Box with Christine. And thank you, wonderful listeners and viewers. Yes, we are, of course, on all your favorite podcast apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. We are also on YouTube. And so if you want to see, if you're listening to this and you're like, I want to see Christopher, I want to see Christine, you can go to outoftheboxwithchristine.com. That's the website. And there's a link there to the YouTube channel. We are also on air on Pacifica Radio in Los Angeles, KPFK 90.7 FM. I'm very happy to have my beautiful guests speak and be heard by the Los Angeles area. So we're on air, online, on demand, you name it. Out of the Box with Christine is everywhere. So make sure you subscribe, like and subscribe, share with your friends. And until next time, as I always say, remember to think outside that damn box. Bye for now.